CzarThwomp here, and welcome to the 51st and final episode of Hollow Knight Blind. Last time, we finished exploring the Hive, where we fought the Hive Knight, and we got a Hive badge that I don't plan on using because, well, the charm slot price is too steep for my preference. Just I would rather use those 4 charm slots on other charms, such as having increased attack power or having a faster slash. But anyways, as I just stated in the intro, this is actually going to be the final episode. You know, it feels kind of surreal doing post-recording commentary for an episode that I know is the finale of the playthrough. I feel kind of naughty, you know, because I originally had commentary, but then, lo and behold, just muted mic, dashed that dream. But anyways, just my main objective here was to get right to the final watcher, because basically we have one watcher that's standing between us and the final boss. The final boss that basically definitely was a very memorable experience. So I'll talk about my thoughts on the final boss when we actually reach the final boss. But first we have to get through these jellyfish. I swear, these jellyfish are the worst part of the Fog Canyon. Even though the Fog Canyon is arguably one of the shortest areas in the game and has some of the least amount of content, it does stand out by the fact that it has so many of these jellyfish. I just feel thankful that I basically got the area opened up that basically contains the Dreamer. So anyways, I wanted to check out to see what was in this room. I wanted to make sure I really wasn't missing anything because I saw a grub here, but yet I wasn't spotting it. Well, we have the bonus episode to go back and get grubs. Yeah, the bonus episode's gonna be a real eventful time, basically seeing just what loose ends we're gonna tie up. But anyways, as you can see, we're in a research facility. This place is kind of cool. It actually gives off a bit of a Machinarium vibe to me because just how it feels steampunk, yet it also feels modern. It's kind of odd. Though you can tell there are a lot of jellyfish here. Thankfully, they give you a bench, which is very nice. I mean, yeah, to think, they don't even tell you on the map, hey, here's a bench. So you could potentially have to go back from the Queen Station if you wanted to get back here. Though anyways, you can see lots of jellyfish. Lots and lots of jellyfish, lots of lightning bugs, just lots of everything, basically, coming your way. So yeah, basically, if you have a max power sword and you also have the ability to swim through acid water, this area is not going to be too bad for you. Though these big jellyfish, on the other hand, they are enemies that I do not like. Just because you kill them, they seek you out. And you have to basically, and you have to be cautious. The only way to take those big guys down reliably is by just blasting them. Now, as you can see, just this area has a lot of forks in the road. Just you can go either left or you can go right. Either way will take you down to the same destination, so that's pretty cool. You don't have to really worry about wandering. I could have just used the crystal heart to get across here, though. Frankly, what's the fun of doing that when you can just swim through the acid water? I mean, hey, we worked hard for that acid water resisting ability, so hey, might as well take advantage of it. So anyways, yeah, down here is actually the boss of the area. Yeah, pretty short area. So anyways, you come down here and basically you get this big jellyfish, Uumuu, which reminds me of that one robot from Close Enough. I forget the name. I think his name's Orbo or something, but basically the name was very similar and it reminded me of that. But yeah, with this guy, I was kind of confused because you can't actually hurt him. I mean, basically you try to slash him, but you're not getting any soul back. That soul that I got back just now is from my reserve. So I was a little flabbergasted. I was thinking, okay, wait, I can't hurt this guy. How am I supposed to hurt him? But then you see Quirrel coming out of here. Quirrel, the guy who I could not give a consistent voice to because I kept on forgetting that we had met him in the past. He comes here and he weakens the jellyfish, and that is really cool because you hear Quirrel, you see him around the world, and basically he talks about his skill with the sword, but yet you never really actually see him fighting. So, yeah, that was really cool when I first saw that. I'm like, oh, Quirrel! Yeah, Quirrel getting revenge for all those times that basically I forgot what voice I gave him. But yeah, this kind of threw me for a loop because this is the only boss in the game, as far as I know. I don't know if I'm missing any bosses. But basically, this is the only boss in the game that I know of that actually requires you to use another NPC to hurt them, basically. The only boss that requires you to use the power of teamwork. So anyways, yeah, the big thing that took me down in that case was just more or less being caught off guard. It wasn't anything on the boss's part that basically was throwing me off, because Uumuu is actually pretty basic in terms of attacks. I mean, just dodge the lightning bugs, and you'll be fine. Dodge lightning bugs, just dodge everything that he's throwing at you. Yeah, basically you just gotta wait for Uumuu to pop out of the water again. Yeah, Uumuu the big jellyfish. We don't know the story behind Uumuu. I don't know. Is Uumuu like Phantoon from the Phazon the Metroid series where basically he's just here? But yeah, basically when it comes to Uumuu, the big thing is just dodging his attacks. Just dodge for his attacks and wait for Quirrel to just come out of the blue and then slash him. Frankly, I was getting a little excited. I'm like, where's Quirrel? Where's Quirrel? He's gonna come out any second. Then there's Quirrel. And then boom. Thank you, Quirrel. Yeah, don't be afraid to attack this thing like mad. Though, to be honest, this thing feels less like a boss and more like a mini-boss, to be honest. Because, I mean, just this feels like a glorified version of those wizards that we saw in the arena that were basically trailing us with lightning attacks, just in a little bit of a larger scale. So yeah, Quirrel just slashes the beast down, you just gotta slash it. Yeah, one more round and we have it, I believe. Just Quirrel just not attacking while the lightning's out. So yeah, I just gotta wait for him. I never know when Quirrel's gonna strike the beast down, so it's more or less just a waiting game. But yeah, I think it's after 3 rounds maybe, where you have to wait 3 rounds and then, oh, okay, now it's good. Because I think we take him down here. Yep, sure enough, we take down Uumuu, which was not that bad. Just I was very relieved when I defeated this boss, just because I'm thinking, okay, it's at least not the Watcher Knights. The Watcher Knights were absolute hell to deal with. Just because with the Watcher Knights, it felt like pure RNG with them. Because just if the Watcher Knights because basically if one Watcher Knight was doing a jump attack while the other was doing a ground-based roll, you were essentially screwed. Because there was no way you could dodge it, especially if you didn't have the Abyssal Dash. Now, if I had the Abyssal Dash, that would have been a real game changer. So anyways, I was just checking out this area, wondering what the heck was in here, when lo and behold, basically just somehow finding out, I was trying to slash it thinking that maybe there's some creature in there that I can read the mind of. And then you get this big twist from Quirrel. You get the big character twist where basically this NPC that you think, oh, he's here for just the atmosphere. He's here just to add some elements. But then basically you learn that basically this guy was actually carrying part of the seal behind basically this dreamer, basically. Where this mask that he's been carrying around was needed to get the dreamer to be revealed. So even if we didn't know Quirrel, then basically we would have been screwed. So yeah, at this point we can go in and free the final dreamer, basically. The final dreamer being the exact same as the first 2 that we've awoken, basically. All we have to do is just slash at her, and then basically we can just absorb her into us. I feel it's kind of odd that we don't get any powers from absorbing the dreamers, because you'd think that we would get something pertaining to them, like, oh, maybe an electric shield, or an increased attack, or maybe extra mobility, something along those lines. You know, because it feels like we're absorbing their souls. I mean, that's pretty much what we're doing. I mean, they're not around after we absorb them, so what else are we doing? So yeah, with that, the black egg has been fully awoken. So with that, we have the final boss at our disposal now, which is pretty cool. I mean, like I said, when it comes to games like this where you spend so much time exploring, it feels so odd when basically when you're reaching the end. It's like, is this really the end of the game? Is the adventure going to be over? Because I couldn't believe that it was happening. Because the thing is that you develop because when it comes to games like this where they have so much atmosphere, basically, you start to develop a bond with the world, and just to think that the adventure could end, it can be a bit mind-blowing. Yeah, and yeah, as you can see, Quirrel has no faith in us. He's like, oh my gosh, we're all gonna die. But anyways, at this point, my main priority was getting back to the black egg. And in a moment of character growth, I actually remember that we have the dream nail. At this moment, I was remembering. I'm like, wait a minute, I have the dream nail. But funnily enough, I actually came across this one, which actually does give a surprising amount of lore now that I think about it. We're basically, well, you'll see when we get to the final boss, but basically, it's mentioning things about an old light with essence, basically, dreams. It gives off a lot of vibes of what we were seeing with the seer, though basically I'll mention this when we're fighting the final boss. Though I actually did remember that we had the Dream Nail. I'm like, wait a minute, why am I doing this when we have the Dream Nail at our disposal? Even though I could have easily gone to the Queen Station. Kind of funny that basically Howling Cliffs where it was more inconvenient to head off to Dirtmouth. Basically, I was more or less just focused on, okay, get to Dirtmouth. But then I see basically the Dream Gate point. I'm like, oh right, we can actually go back. We can head back there. I don't have to run all the way back to the Queen Station. So yeah, basically I was just wondering about what else we could do. I was wondering if there was a mark on the map telling us if there was another location, because knowing this game, there would be at least something else for us to do, because it feels like this game, it never runs out of stuff for you to do, where it feels like every experience is a learning experience. Anyways, right here I was a little nervous. I'm thinking, oh god, did I create a new dream point? But lo and behold, just no, I was just not holding it in the proper way, because for some reason my controller did not like me throughout the course of this game, where basically when it came to up and down, my controller was weird, which is one reason why I wasn't able to really utilize the spell system as much as I'd like. Where basically, funny thing is that when I'm playing games, I tend to be more of a magic-oriented guy, just more range attacks, using magic, all these different spells. Heck, you saw my Skyrim playthrough, where basically I was all magic all the time, just conjuration, swords, bounce swords, fireballs, just going mad with the fireballs in that game. So yeah, get some quick kills before actually going to the final boss. Really, this one Dream Gate point that I created has been just really useful because just of how close it is to a stag station. So yeah, basically at this point, I was thinking to myself, it's time to end things off. Just time to start this playthrough. Time to end this playthrough. Yeah, start the playthrough. We're gonna start the playthrough anew. Just delete the file right at the last second, and then we're gonna start the game all over again. We're gonna do it right this time. Yeah, though if I do a second playthrough of Hollow Knight at any point on my own time, then I can easily imagine myself doing a lot of things differently, such as not banishing the Grim Troop, and actually trying to finish the side quest off. But hey, frankly, considering how this final boss treated me, it was probably a good thing that I didn't fight Nightmare Grim. Ugh. Because just from what I've heard on the Steam forums, just Nightmare Grim is an absolute nightmare. And considering basically that what I was dealing with while recording this episode, it was fitting that I basically fought only the final boss and Uumuu in this episode. Anyways, for that one grub that we saved in the hive, we got a King's Idol, which basically I could sell for more money, though I really couldn't think of anything of what I could spend because, well, what else is there really for us to buy? So anyways, yeah, just killing a few enemies, just kill the last, yeah, funnily enough, these two enemies right here, they're the first two enemies that I killed in the game. The first two enemies that I killed in the playthrough were the last two common enemies that I killed in the playthrough, basically. Which kind of funny how it came full circle in that regard. So anyways, right here I was playing my badge build. I was kind of wondering how I should handle this. Basically, I was thinking, okay, I want to get rid of the Wayward Compass because we're not going to be going anywhere once we get into the final boss. It's going to be a matter of, okay, we are going to be fighting the boss. We don't need to know where we are. So I was wondering, okay, Long Nail, is that going to benefit us? Quick Slash? So anyways, yeah, as you can see, I'm just looking at my items. I'm just wondering what's going on. I was thinking to myself that Grub Song would actually be a good item because just considering just how Grub Song has saved our asses in the past, it would only be fitting that we use Grub Song for the final boss. Because Grub Song is a pretty solid ability. I was also contemplating using the Dream Nail ability because I was thinking, okay, this is going to be the final boss. It's going to be it's going to require us to get a lot of soul. Maybe, basically, we could use the Dream Nail to our advantage. But then I was thinking to myself, maybe we can leave Wayward Compass on. But then, nah, we're going to go with Grub Song. Yeah, I love how basically I know what my decision is at this point in the video. And basically just waiting for it to happen. This is just dramatic irony. I know exactly what's going to go on. Heck, I should know what's going on considering that I just edited the episode to basically be the length that it is now. Because originally this video was 2 hours and 10 minutes unedited. I am serious, basically. The final boss in this game can utterly devastate you. Though, I'll tell you more about the final boss when we actually get to the final boss. But first off, we have to get inside the black egg. Okay, never mind. That wasn't the last enemy that we killed. I was not poetic. I killed a different enemy as the last enemy. Though regardless, as you can see, basically black egg coated in just this mist, these globules. Hornets here, as you can see, and basically the black egg, it opens up for us. We can actually go inside it now, much like the temple in Metroid Prime 1 or the Sky Temple in Metroid Prime 2, or basically the Leviathan seed ship in Metroid Prime 3. Basically, Hornet, she's telling us, oh, hey, I can't really come in here, but hey, if the need arises, I will come in there to help, even though this area's going to drain my life away because I'm not Void. I'm not Void, I am not you. So anyways, basically going in here, I was a little leery because basically this area feels ominous. It's pitch black, and I was honestly not knowing what was going to pop out. For all I knew, a bunch of enemies were going to pop out and were going to make my life hell. This was going to be some gauntlet of sorts, because I would not put past this game to put a hell gauntlet right before the final boss. But lo and behold, the game is actually relatively merciful here, because for one thing, they actually give you a bench. I actually had to double take because I was like, is the game really going to give us a bench right before the final boss? Anyways, at this point, the game gives you the ability to see your percentage. So naturally, I'm going to see my percentage and completely gloss over my percentage for a good amount of time. As you can see, I got 95% completion for this game, which is pretty solid considering that this was a blind playthrough, basically working all on my own in that regard, trying to see the world, see what we could collect, and especially considering how difficult this game was. I mean, under normal circumstances, I would be just trying to take the easy route. But anyways, I love the intro for this boss because basically you go into this room and it screams just build up, because you go into this room, it's dark, you see these glowing objects, these glowing chains, and then you go over here and you see this guy sealed in the middle, he's watching you, he's literally looking at you, he's gazing upon you, and basically you break the chains. I was wondering, I heard a breaking noise before, so basically I was thinking, okay, do I have to hit something? And lo and behold, you break these chains. You're essentially you're pulling a God of War like in God of War when you're breaking the chains to Deimos' prison. You're breaking him out. But this is not Deimos. Though, funnily enough, this is sort of like Deimos. But anyways, wait for it. This is the Hollow Knight. Yeah, you thought you were the Hollow Knight? No. This is the Hollow Knight. Which, though, based on what you can gather from bits and pieces from the lore, basically, such as what the one queen that we encountered in the tree, basically, was telling us about, this is apparently a vessel like us, but basically fully grown. And basically, so he is in a way like, it is like our sibling of sorts. So it is like a Deimos. But anyways, with this guy, I actually really like this boss. This is actually my favorite boss in the game because basically the Hollow Knight actually feels fair. Because basically, where it feels like his attacks are easy to choreograph, he's not ruthless. He gives you plenty of opportunities to heal, and not to mention, it has a lot of good atmosphere. The music feels solemn. It feels like you're fighting a dark copy of yourself. Anyways, yeah, basically, when you get into this phase, you're nearing the end of the fight. As you can see, he's just stabbing himself. And at this point, I was actually a little confused. I'm wondering, what the heck's going on here? Is he playing some mind games with me? And then this attack right here just really threw me for a loop, because just here we are, we're seeing the supposed final boss getting ragdolled around the room and just taking me for a loop. But anyways, thankfully your soul is right next to you at the save point. So yeah, this is the battle where the game actually shows a bit of mercy on you, where the game actually shows you some respect. So anyways, you enter the room, the Hollow Knight, he basically roars. You don't have to break him down every time, which is really good. So anyways, one strategy I found that really works for the Hollow Knight is brute forcing it. Brute force against the Hollow Knight is the best way to deal with the Hollow Knight, basically. Because even though the game makes you think, oh hey, I want to play this defensively, he has a blade like us, he'll parry us. No, you want to basically just start attacking him, because basically he doesn't have that much health, surprisingly enough. So basically, if you just attack him over and over again, you'll be fine. Though another thing I would say is don't heal, or rather don't use your spells or your soul powers in general, because basically, you're going to want to save your soul powers for later, right? Basically, yes, dying a bunch of times to this guy. So anyways, hopefully we'll be coming across the boss soon. I mean, I edited this episode. Oh, right, I remember what happened. I wanted to show the first 2 attempts, and then basically, then I show when we get there. Frankly, this next round is when we actually get into the next phase of the fight. Basically, we move on to the next phase of things. Because this was when I was really starting to learn, okay, here's how you handle this fight. You just go into a corner, and then basically you just brute force it. Because basically, if you just brute force the Hollow Knight, he can't really finish you off because you're just causing him to progress through his phases. If you want to heal during the fight, wait for this phase right here where he's just stabbing himself with his sword, basically. Wait for that and then start attacking him. Though, as I learned later on, basically, that phase is better spent just outright attacking because that way you move on to the next phase, where the next phase is where things really pick up. And it's personally a really cool story moment. So basically, you hit the Hollow Knight enough times, and then all of a sudden, boom! Basically, Hornet comes out of nowhere and basically reveals an opening in his head. And the second I saw this, I knew exactly what we had to do. I knew that everything was building up to this moment. Now, this is the real final boss right here. You thought the Hollow Knight was the real final boss? Oh, no. This isn't the final boss. Now, you're wondering, where is the final boss? Well, see that sun over there? That's no sun. That's no sun at all. Just like how the Death Star was a moon, that's no sun. But rather, that is the final boss. And you know it's the final boss because they get their own screen and it's the Radiance. This is the final boss. This is essentially that being of light that we were told about with the Seer, that basically is essentially pure essence. Basically, this dream nail that we've been using, basically, this thing is the grand poobah of basically that force we were using, the essence. So yeah, you can essentially contribute all the hell that we've had to fight with those Dream Warriors to this thing. Now, when it comes to the Radiance, it can really throw you for a loop because it basically will take off 2 hits of health for every attack. There is no real moment where it'll only take off 1. I think it has maybe 1 or 2 attacks where it takes off only 1 health. Though, for the most part, you're dealing with this thing when it's blasting you with light, it's blasting you with spikes. Frankly, this thing is the embodiment of everything horrible. Heck, this thing even has spikes on its head. So anyways, basically, the key to this fight is that you want to actually stay calm. Now, one thing is that with this music, this boss can really throw you for a loop with its theme because basically this music makes you think, okay, this is it. I need to defeat this boss fast. But meanwhile, if you move fast, you end up dying because this thing can combo you quickly. And in this first phase, basically, you don't really have any opportunity to heal because you're constantly dealing with a bombardment of spikes or spheres, and you don't really have anywhere to run. The arena is rather limited in terms of size. And not to mention, half of the arena can be taken out by spikes at a given time, which can really throw everything into pain. Now, anyways, at this phase, this is actually an easier phase because at this point, the Radiance will only utilize its spikes. Now, this was when I was thinking to myself, okay, things are starting to get cool because you get this darkness coming up and it's trying to grab the Radiance, but the Radiance breaks out. Now, for this next phase of the fight, basically, this is actually, I find it to be a little easier than the previous stage of the fight, where basically, at this point, you're more or less just, you have room, you can heal, and basically, you can treat it like a normal boss fight. Now, when it comes to the Radiance, basically, when the Radiance gets grabbed by those tendrils, and you're about to transition to the Sky phase, use that time to heal. Now, as for why I was saying save up, don't heal up during the Hollow Knight phase, as you can probably tell in these fights, I basically find myself at full health. This is because, for the first and only time in the game, when you transition to this phase of the fight, the game will actually heal you up fully. So basically, don't waste your soul on healing beforehand. Not to mention, you want to have it where you can start blasting the Radiance with just your full-on up B spell. So, yeah. Now, in regards to the Radiance, it took me there was at one point a section where now, this may seem like I'm progressing pretty fast, but that's because I cut the footage heavily. And this is actually the only perk of having to do this post-edit. post-recording, I mean, where basically just where I had to edit large swaths of the episode out because there was at one point a 40-minute. There was at one point I was playing this. I was stuck on the first phase for 40 minutes straight trying to get to the second phase. I kid you not. Basically, I would defeat the Hollow Knight, get into the head, and then basically have to fight the Radiants. Just first phase, only to die to the first phase. And then I'd be right back at the start of the fight, and I'd be sad. So anyways, yeah. So anyways, this should be the... Anyways, yeah, right here. This is my successful run of the fight. Yeah, the Hollow Knight having some weird lag on my footage for some reason. Basically, I guess his roar was too powerful. As you can see, at this point in the fight, I was just done with things. I was done being subtle. I was done basically just holding back. I basically let the Hollow Knight know exactly what my views were. Yeah, as you can see, basically, just this is how fast you can take the Hollow Knight down. Heck, we're almost ready to get to the Hollow Knight's the Hollow Knight's next phase. I don't know if it was the third phase or the second phase. Frankly, I'm assuming the Hollow Knight's second phase is after you stun him, but frankly, I'm not even sure. But anyways, just look how fast we're moving. When he does that sort of attack, basically his blob blast, you just want to just dodge and then wait for him to land on the ground because he will be tired. Just give him a big slash from there. When he's doing the ragdoll attack, you just want to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And basically, there it is, right there. So anyways, yeah, I love how Hornet, before you go into the Hollow Knight's head, she says, get good, basically. But yeah, because you have to get good if you want to defeat the Radiants, basically. At this point, I started to get used to how the Radiants attack. So basically, launch out with 3 upward strikes, basically, just taking advantage of the fact that she does stay still when you're doing this. Yes, I did look it up on the wiki, and the Radiance is, in fact, female, basically. She is a goddess of sorts. She is the mother goddess. Yeah, throw in basically the Emperor of the Lord of the Abyss, basically, from the God of the Abyss from Overlord. Yeah, this is the mother goddess he dumped. She didn't take the divorce very well. So basically, yeah, at this point, just you want to dodge the swords. You don't want, basically, prioritize dodging over hitting, because hit while you dodge, essentially. That's all there really is to it. And also, just wait for the swords to basically be near. If you find a spot that works, stay there and do not move. Just start slashing and just stay calm. I know that sounds like such basic advice, but that's pretty much all you can do. Just stay calm when you're fighting the Radiants. Yeah, at this point, I was really happy that I didn't have to spend that much soul. I didn't use that much soul during the actual fight because I could actually use it to heal up fully, which I needed in order to deal with this, basically. Start the fight off with the Radiants in basically this phase by being on the lowest platform, because you can get some good hits on her. If you have extra soul after healing and the like, use it to do an upward attack, because basically she's in the perfect position to strike her down. So anyways, basically, as I say before, the Radiance does get a little easier because you have more space to work with, and you have platforms to actually jump on. So it's not like she can constantly trap you on that one little narrow plane. In fact, we're actually moving on to the end of the fight. Now, this is a really cool and satisfying end to a final boss. And because basically you're climbing up, the music is playing, you're dealing with these beams of light, and then the shades, they're all rising up. I'm thinking to myself, oh great, what, are they going to attack me? Are we going to have to deal with some final phase where she uses our dead brethren against us? But no. This is actually really cool because basically one hit, and better yet, basically the Radiance is getting grabbed, and then the Hollow Knight comes in, rips open the Radiance, and then to top it off, you're basically going JoJo Bizarre Adventure. I thought this was a cutscene when I first saw it, and then I'm seeing attack, and then going, and basically just really taking the opportunity to strike this thing down, and seeing the Radiance just get taken down into the abyss. Just seeing this thing go down, you don't know how satisfying it was to see this, because just after all the hell the Radiance put me through, after all the hell the bosses in this game in general have put me through, it felt good to finally come out victorious. And not to mention, it didn't help that basically during this fight, I was on a bit of a time clock, because basically because I was playing on streaming basically that evening, doing a Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage stream. So basically, as this was happening, it was getting closer and closer to the time. And I'm thinking, oh crap. In fact, I actually ended this recording with 10 minutes to spare before that stream started. So basically, it was intense. If only I had the actual original recording for that, because basically, it would have shown just how antsy I was. But anyways, ending. Even in the ending, we don't get a satisfying conclusion because we die in the ending. Even in the ending, you die. Every moment in the game, you're dying. And then basically, though in the way this ending is a bit bittersweet because I did actually look it up on the wiki forum in regards to basically this game, because I was a little confused by this ending, because all we see is basically just our knight, basically Limbu dying, and then basically these guys disappearing into the void. But basically, from what I was able to see, this is actually a bit of a bittersweet ending, because just these shades, they have no purpose, because, well, we killed the Radiance, we killed the Plague, we killed the Infection, which basically made it where, well, they no longer have a reason to be in this world. Yeah, dream no more. So anyways, here's the credits, and this is where I'm going to basically do my typical speech about this playthrough. I would have to say that in terms of my playthroughs that I've done so far, I would have to say that this one has the most love-hate relationship with me, because basically, on the one hand, I loved this game. I loved the atmosphere, I loved the control, I loved just the overall feeling of exploration that gave, where basically I love the feeling of fulfillment that gave, because with a lot of games nowadays, they deal with the issue of just handing everything to you on a silver platter, where basically, oh, hey, you're struggling a little, want to make things easier? No. Hollow Knight doesn't do that. If you're struggling, Hollow Knight essentially says, buck up, get better. Heck, one of Hornet's phrases is literally get good. Hornet is telling you to get good and to also buy Adidas. But anyways, basically, whenever I defeated a boss, it felt like I came out on top. I felt like I was invincible because I overcame a legitimate challenge. A boss that was kicking my ass, and then basically, after enough effort, after enough trying, everything came out well, and we were all good. And I felt so happy, even though I feel so angry during the actual boss fights. But on the other hand, in regards to this game, one thing I didn't like about it was that just the placement of save points. Because in regards to just how the save points were placed, it felt like very rarely it felt like there was a save point that was actually decently close to a boss. Sure, it's not too much issue to have to navigate to the boss. I mean, it would be a few rooms away, but still, there would always be a chance that I would get hurt getting to the boss, and it would be a real pain. The most notable example for this was in regards to, I would have to say the two most notable examples of this were the Mantis Lords and the Watcher Knights, as well as, okay, I'm trying to think of the example, basically. Yes, the Traitor Lord as well. The Traitor Lord, I would have to say, was arguably one of the worst aspects in that regard, just because, basically, it was just just you having to deal with that little platforming section, just all those spikes. But anyways, congratulations, just getting told that we did well on getting this great feat, and that basically you persevered and triumphed. I love how they acknowledge that you have to persevere and triumph. And basically, though, in regards to Hollow Knight, I am not going to be coming back to this game anytime soon, basically. I'm going to need a break after I do the bonus episode. But yeah, here's the real kicker. Basically. Anyways, yeah, I'm just waiting to finish it off. I'm basically telling you about my opinions about it. I'm like, oh, hey, I had such a great time playing this game. It was a challenge, but hey, we came out on top, we tried, and it was an experience. So anyways, just gotta wait for it. I love how I had a more efficient end of game speech during this post-recording. So anyways, we're gonna be getting it very soon. Very soon, you're gonna get to see something that really that basically put the hairs on my neck on edge, basically. Yeah, here it is. Game completion. It tells you, oh, hey, you completed 95% of the game in 33 hours. Yeah, as you can tell, I wasn't exactly moving fast in this game. But anyways, here's where the real fear comes into place. The real insanity. Steel Soul Mode. The second I saw this, I was like, no, because I could not do this with one life. I die a lot. Heck, I've died just getting to areas that wouldn't be. But anyways, I think now would be a good time to end things off. Anyways, I really appreciate that you came by to watch. Anyways, I missed you at my outro. Anyways, I really appreciate that you came by to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, wait, I'm just checking to make sure that basically I could actually do a bonus episode, because by my luck, I would be saying I'm doing a bonus episode, and then lo and behold, you're stuck in the final boss room. Okay, anyways, now I can do my outro. Sorry about that. I'm just not used to post-recording. Hopefully this is the last time I have to do something like this. But anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever that you want. And with that, I'll see you for the bonus episode, which I will be uploading tomorrow. And in that episode, I'll also be posting the details of my next playthrough. So with that, I will see you later. Bye.